My reactions to the 2026 FIFA World Cup finals, well, third place game and finals, because both of them happened over the weekend. I'm going to start with the third place game. This was really the match of the entire weekend. Not to say that Spain versus Argentina in the finals was boring or awful or anything, but 6-4 sounds a lot more interesting than 1-0 in my personal opinion, which is exactly what happened in the France versus England game. England beat France 6-4. England were up 4-0 after the first half. And it seemed like everything that could go wrong was going wrong for France. They were down 0-4 until they flipped the switch in the second half and remembered that this was supposed to be a competitive game and rallied off 3 unanswered goals. Fortunately for England, they were able to stay composed, because I honestly thought that England was going to lose this game, kind of like they did against Argentina when they were up 1-0 in the 85th minute before losing that game, because it looked like England was unraveling. But credit to them, they gathered themselves, they composed themselves, and ended up taking a 5-3 lead late in regulation, and then France answered to cut the deficit to 5-4. But really the game was over because they were down 5-3 with like extra time, so they cut the deficit to 5-4, and then Jude Bellingham put the final nail in the coffin, helping England win this game and putting the dagger in the hearts of France fans. And really the player of this game did not even play in the last game, which is part of the reason why they ultimately might have lost to Argentina, as Saka ended up scoring a hat trick in this game. Who knows, had he played against Argentina, maybe they would have won that game and maybe they would be standing here World Cup champions, but who knows, you know? But it was still a great game for England, despite the fact that both teams suffered a disappointing loss in the semifinals. At least England can hang their heads on the fact that they won this game. Then we had Spain versus Argentina, and I knew this would happen. I figured this would happen. Heck, I even thought that Spain had a chance to blow out Argentina. And a lot of people weren't giving Spain a chance in the last game or this game, and they proved people wrong. I wasn't one of those people that were foolish enough to believe that Spain didn't have a chance. But they blew out France 2-0, and really that game could have been a lot worse. But I even thought that to a point that Spain could potentially blow out Argentina, but that's not exactly what happened. Even though they had chances to do so, but they just couldn't capitalize on opportunities until second half of overtime. The game was tied 0-0, 0-0 after the regulation. Even though they had chances to go up 1-0. The game was still 0-0 after the first half of overtime. And then in the second half of overtime, Spain took advantage and scored a goal with not Lamine Yamal, not Rodri. Ferran Torres scored the game-winning goal ultimately. Even though Argentina did have some time, they just never could get anything going. And as a result, Spain ended up winning this game 1-0. I figured this would happen. I knew Argentina was playing, because you look at the way they were playing the last couple of games, and yeah, they've made some miraculous comebacks. I understand one of those games was aided by the refs, but I knew that they were playing with fire, honestly, and that it was bound to burn them. And that's exactly what happened in this game. Like I said, the score could have been worse, but Spain just missed on their opportunities up until the second half of overtime. And yeah, just Argentina falls short once again, failed to repeat as champions. Credit to Spain, they played a heck of a game, but Argentina just did not do enough. And yeah, credit to Spain. They're the new world champions. Second time in history. First time was back in 2010, so 16 years ago. It's crazy to think that it's been 16 years. 2010. Time flies, you know, but congratulations to Spain, the World Cup champions, and Argentina. Who knows what's going to happen to them, because this could have been Lionel Messi's last year participating, at least on an international team level, because he's 38. He's going to be 42 by the time next World Cup comes around. But we'll see what happens, you know? Yeah, we'll just see what happens in the next 4 years. But overall, it was a pretty good weekend in terms of the World Cup. And yeah, it should be interesting to see what happens next World Cup and so on and so forth, you know? But it's been a heck of a ride for the World Cup. We've seen some crazy shit happen, honestly. But yeah, those were my reactions to the 2026 World Cup third place game and finals. So until my next video, I will catch y'all later. Deuces.